Hello and welcome to my channel, Stitches with Love. My name is Elizabeth and this is where I share all about my knitting adventures on and off the needles. And today I have a little bit to share about what's on the needles and something to share that's very close to coming off the needles, and a little bit about a completely non-knitting related hobby that I've decided to start taking up. So if that sounds like something that interests you, grab a cup of something Christmassy and cozy and come along with me. All right, so today I am enjoying my lovely coffee. This is a brand that I buy at our discount grocery store. I really like it. It's called Four Sisters Coffee, and it's really quite good. It comes pre-ground, so I don't have to grind anything up before I put it in my machine. I just measure and dump and brew, and it's really good. I'm drinking it with my stevia and my peppermint mocha nut pods, and it is so delightful. Somebody's at my door. Just a moment. I sit down to do these and somebody always needs me. I'll be right back. All right. It never fails that when I sit down to record and my children are home, even if I think they're occupied, they come find me. So we're back. I don't remember what I was saying. I think I was talking about how good my coffee is. Let's do the non-knitting related stuff first, then we'll get to the knitting. So every once in a while, I think about taking up a new hobby. Even though I love knitting and gardening and reading, those are things I really enjoy doing. Sometimes I think I do them a lot and I just get kind of burnt out or bored and I lose interest. And I don't want to lose interest in any of those things to the point where I just stop doing them entirely. So I've been kind of looking around for a while now for a new hobby that I can take up, and I think I found one. I've always been interested in drawing. I would not say I'm very good at it, but I don't think you have to be good at something to enjoy doing it. So I picked up this book at the library. It's called Pacific Northwest Line Drawing, and it is full of flora and fauna that you find here in the beautiful Pacific Northwest. And it shows you step-by-step instructions on how to draw whatever the thing is. So let's see, there's animals in here. I love the birds. I have not done more than just a few flowers so far, but it tells you the name of whatever the thing is, takes you through start to finish. Isn't that cool? So I have done just a few drawings. I already had a sketchbook. This is just a super simple, cheap sketchbook that I picked up, and I've started drawing in it. This is a lupine, one of my favorite flowers. And let me find it in here in the book so you can see what it looks like. Here we go. So this is a lupine, a Lupinus oregonus. And then this is the one I drew. I don't know how well you can see that. Maybe if I put it up like that. Because it's a library book, I cannot draw what I'm doing here in the little space. And I really didn't want to just make a bunch of photocopies and then have those in a book somewhere. That just seemed more tedious and more cumbersome. And I just didn't think it was really worth the trouble to go that route. And then I do have some colored pencils, and I use those when I make my garden sketches, but right now I'm just using these Pilot pens. What are they called? Pilot G2. These are their fine tip pens. I have a whole pouch full of them in lots of different colors. Nothing fancy, nothing special. But so far they're working out really well. It seems really dark in here. I'm not sure what happened because my lighting seemed fine a minute ago. I'm going to adjust my light just a minute. All right, that's much better. Every time I sit down to do one of these videos, I think I am ready and prepared, and then it turns out I'm really not. So that is a new hobby I have taken up. I haven't done any of it for the last couple of days, but I have the book for 4 weeks and then I can renew it. Or if I really love it, I guess I could just buy my own copy, but we'll see how this goes. I'm also looking into learning how to do watercolor painting. I've always wanted to learn how to do that. I just think it's beautiful and it doesn't look terribly difficult. And so I'm just looking for a way to sort of expand my creative outlet and do things that I've always wanted to learn, and I just haven't ever made the time to do it. So we'll see how it goes. My next it's not knitting specific, but I think it definitely goes along with knitting. So one of my favorite things to do is go to thrift stores, secondhand stores. I love to go see what other people are getting rid of because I just find it fascinating. So I was at one of our local secondhand stores this past week and I found this lovely basket. And it fits perfectly this blanket, which is not hand knit, although it looks like it, which was part of the reason I bought it. I saw this on the rack and I just thought it was so beautiful. And initially I thought that somebody had hand knit this. It's a very simple ribbing stitch with a garter border. It is warm and soft and cozy. I've already washed it up because I'm so excited to use it. But it actually is not a hand knit blanket. This was a store-bought find. It still has the tag on it. It came from Target, if you're interested. And the brand is Hearth and Hand with Magnolia. And I think that's the Joanna Gaines brand. I don't know for sure. I'm not a big fan of her and her husband. That's not why I bought this. I just think this is really beautiful. And it looks very hand knit and handmade, and it's very cozy. It's not made of wool, but it feels like it's got some in it. The fibers, it says it's made of acrylic and nylon, and then it just says 3% other fibers. So I don't really know what's in it, but it's definitely washable. It can go in the dryer. And after laundering it, it feels softer and cozier. So I bought this with the intention of leaving it out by my other chair out in the kitchen. We have a little, I call it my reading nook. And it's just a place where I can knit or I can read. If I'm watching a movie with my family, I can still watch from where I'm sitting. I don't have a view that's obstructed. But I wanted to have a cozy blanket that's just for me to use and enjoy. So I'm keeping it in this basket next to my chair. And I realize it probably at some point will be absconded with by a small child or my husband because they also love blankets. So if I really can't just keep it there for my own enjoyment, that's okay. It just might make its way into this office instead. So we'll see. But now I am really thinking about making a blanket like this simply because it's so cozy and lovely, and it would be really, really easy to copy this pattern. So that may be an upcoming project. Who knows? I have so many projects already on the needles. I don't really need another one. Which brings me to the next thing I want to talk about. So today is the last day of November. I cannot believe that. Tomorrow is December 1st, and I really don't know how I feel about that. Let's see. Actually, do I want to talk about this first? I think I want to talk about that in just a minute. Let's talk about this project first. So, if you have been watching these videos, you will have seen me working on these socks pretty solidly for the last several episodes. These are being done 2 at a time. I did just finish the gussets yesterday. Today was the deadline to have them finished. I wanted to knit something to go in the raffle baskets for our church's community event, which is coming up this coming Saturday. And I tried really, really hard to finish these. I really did. Every spare moment I had, I was working on these socks. And I really thought that they would be done today. And that's just not going to happen. So I sent an email to the person that is taking the donations and gathering them, and I apologized and explained why they're not done. But I realized that this is a very important lesson for me to learn, to not volunteer for something unless I know for a fact I can get it done. This was not a project that anybody was expecting. It wasn't something anybody asked me to do specifically. It's just something I really wanted to do, and I really thought that I could finish. But that's not going to be the case. So I'm going to continue working on these, but I really don't think they're going to make it into a raffle basket. So they may end up being somebody's gift. I don't know. I'm sorry. I really tried. So I'm going to keep working on those because it's important to me that I at least finish them, even if they're not going to be given for my intended purpose. And they have been enjoyable. I have enjoyed working on them. But I decided that when I realized they were not going to be done, I would put them away, continue working on them over the next few days until they are done, and then devote my time to my November sock of the month, which really I want to get done today. And again, probably won't happen because this is all the progress I've made on it. I don't know why I commit myself to things like this because I struggle to really stay on task with my knitting. So I'm almost done with the cuff and then I can start the legs. So I think today this will be my main knitting project. In addition to whatever I might get done on my stripy socks. But I don't know. We have church today. We're leaving in an hour to go there. And then later this afternoon, we have our big family Thanksgiving. So of course I'll knit there. In between church and going out for Thanksgiving dinner, I still have some food I need to prepare for that gathering. I still have children that are here that still really need me, and they need time with me. And so I really just don't know how much knitting I'm actually going to get done today. But this will be my main project, working on my November socks of the month, trying to get those done because tomorrow is December 1st. And I really want to share this with you guys. This is the December sock of the month coming up. And I'm hoping I can get November done first. So we shall see how the knitting goes today. The last thing, and I forgot I was going to show this to you guys today. I got a new knitting gadget. And I really try not to bring home a lot of knitting gadgets because they're just, some of them are really fun and frivolous, and some of them are necessary, and some of them can go either way. This is one of those can go either way notions, gadgets, what are we calling it? I wasn't sure if this was really going to be worth the investment. So if you don't know what this is a Lumos neck light. It has a flat base so you can have it upright. They are rechargeable. They've got a little space here for your USB charger. They fold up really nicely and compact, so I can keep them very easily in a small knitting pouch or in the Notions bag of my larger knitting tote. I've only used them a couple of times. They're very flexible. They're very durable. They had really good reviews. I don't think I saw a single bad review on these, and I read a lot. I have looked at these for the last several years and kind of thought about whether or not I really wanted them, whether or not I would really use them, if they would really be worth the investment, because they are not an inexpensive product, which was one of the biggest reasons I did not buy them right away, because I had to be sure that if I was going to invest in something like this, it was really going to be worth the money and the time spent actually using them. So far, they seem to work really well. They just fit around like this. They're very lightweight. They have 3 different light settings. And then you can adjust the brightness as needed. You can make them brighter, you can make them dimmer. So they have an LED setting, and then they have like an LED mixed with halogen, and then they have, what else do they have? Or they have just a plain halogen. I don't think that's the right term. Yellow light. And I don't know. I think they're going to be a good investment. I don't usually work with dark colored yarns because it's very difficult to see, even in good lighting. And so that was part of the reason I wanted something like this, because I would like to start working with some darker colors for some of my projects, but I don't want to destroy my eyesight. I would also really love to be able to knit in the evenings if I'm in bed with my husband. If he goes to bed really early, so if he's gone to bed and he's already sleeping and I don't really want to stay up in the other room, I would like to be able to knit or maybe read a book, and these just don't seem to bother him the way that the lamp does. The other thought was, because I'm not in a season right now where I'm getting a lot of sleep, I'm up and down a lot in the night, I'm getting up really early, I don't really want to turn on a light and disturb anybody else in the family that's still trying to sleep. So I think these would be really helpful for something like that. And then the other reason I got them was my husband and I, we love to travel. And so when we travel and we take our trips, we do a lot of driving, and a lot of driving at night and early morning. And sometimes it's just really hard to stay awake in the car. It's really hard to sleep in the car. And so having something like this that would allow me to still read or still knit without disturbing my husband, the driver, or the children in the back seat, I think would be really helpful. So for the few times I've used them, I just got them. They just came in a few days ago. So far, I would give them a good rating, let's say 5 out of 5. I think it's going to be worth the investment. We shall see. I don't know how long the charge lasts. I didn't charge them actually. The instructions said to charge them when you before you first use them. I have not, but I also haven't been using them all that much because most of my knitting time is done during the day, if I'm really lucky. So right now they're just living in my knitting bag, and we'll see how much use they get. I think that's really all I have to share. I'm looking around my office to see if there's anything else I wanted to tell you about. I don't think there really is. I think I'm going to go finish my coffee. I'm going to do a little bit of my knitting and try to figure out what to do with my day before we go out this afternoon to celebrate. Whatever you're doing today, friends, I hope it's lovely. I hope you have a beautiful, blessed Sunday, and may you be healthy and warm and safe. It looks like we've got some more rain on the way this week, so cozy up, hunker down, whatever you find yourself doing, and I will see you next time. Blessings.